What is going on, guys? This is Dealer here back again, talking about a very clever next generation patent that very well may lead us to how Microsoft are going to pull VR off on the Xbox 2, Xbox Scarlett, whatever you want to call it, the next Xbox. And yes, I did cover this on last night's RDX podcast. You know, we get people that want to watch the long podcast, maybe listen to them while they're at work on a long drive, and then we get people that want to watch the shorter videos. So I figured I'd make a dedicated video. If you're interested in that show, I will link it down below. Encourage you to give it a listen, give it a try. And for those wondering, because I will get questions, this is Assassin's Creed Odyssey running on Xbox One X. Please crank up your quality settings here on YouTube to 4K resolution and get your mind blown. The fidelity this console pumps out is insane, and it looks even better in person on an actual Xbox One X. But of course, I digress. Let's get into the topic. So it looks like some PlayStation 5 VR patents have leaked online, or rather been discovered online, and they do some pretty clever things. Now, of course, currently with PlayStation VR, it requires a pretty hefty headset, 2 PlayStation Move controllers, a PlayStation Eye camera, and a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4 Pro. With this new system, you will not only have the next generation PSVR, which is said to have higher fidelity with higher pixel density, better display technology, etc., but it will work in tandem with 2 PlayStation VR bracelets. Yes, bracelets. Now, the thing that makes these bracelets very clever is that they have built-in camera technology that tracks your fingers. These cameras are rotary, meaning you can move these things around, or they do this automatically, one of the two, and I would imagine this allows for facial tracking as well. Now, instead of having PlayStation Move wands to track your hand positioning through the camera, these bracelets would automatically do this by themselves, with no need for you to hold anything. I would imagine they do this through some kind of gyroscope technology, much like a smartphone. It just knows what direction you are facing, what direction you are moving, how many steps you've taken, for instance. It's all possible through these pretty common gyroscopes. Now, this is kind of a big deal for those who like VR and the industry in general. It is a massive upgrade over the current VR system on console, or PC for that matter. And most importantly, and relevant to this video, it is a big thing that Microsoft can look at for inspiration when it comes to their VR system on Xbox 2. Now, of course, none of this is set in stone. Sony have a few different patents out there for VR, but I thought this is the most interesting and the one that is going to make the most headway in the VR space if it is actually developed and implemented. Question is this the route Sony are going to go? And if so, can they get the technology cheap enough to be appealing to the mainstream? Furthermore, are Microsoft going to develop a similar technology that avoids patent infringement? We will see. We've seen this done a million times. 2 very similar technologies, though both of them had patents, they can both exist in the same ecosystem. For all we know, Microsoft already have a patent on something like this. Something we do know is that third parties will be the primary manufacturers of Xbox VR headsets, according to Microsoft. While the console's VR software will be, of course, handled by Microsoft directly, physical VR headset hardware will be handled by the likes of Oculus, HTC, HP, and more, which I think is a very smart idea. Why waste a ton of R&D budget on a headset when your competitors already have a ton of them out there at different spec and price point? You can allow them to take the hit on the R&D, develop better headsets, and of course drive down prices through competition for your consumer. I think it's a win-win, and this doesn't mean Microsoft will never make a headset for their own Xbox 2, but at launch, you'll most likely only have third-party options. So, here's what I'm suggesting. Microsoft, if you do not already have a similar idea, steal this one, okay? It's okay. Sony steals your stuff all the time. You borrow stuff from them. Nintendo comes in and like, yeah, let me take this. You know, like everyone does this. It's the games industry. Without this, actually, I think the industry would be worse. There are so many great games that are actually really, really good because they borrowed a great mechanic from some other studio that came up with it. Now, of course, behind the scenes, we know those studios are like, man, yeah, they're very upset and they're probably aggravated. Like, man, come up with your own ideas. It's kind of annoying when everyone just copies you. But at the end of the day, it happens. And I think in games, it makes things better. So yeah, while they were not able to deliver VR with the Xbox One as they thought they might be able to do with the X, I guess they decided, hey, this isn't going to give us the experience that we desire. We're seeing the results they're getting with the PlayStation 4 Pro. And even though the X's CPU is faster, it's not exponentially faster. It's not next generation Ryzen core faster. So they're going to wait, and they're going to give you a better experience from the ground up, and hopefully it works for them. So let me know what you guys think down below. I know a lot of you guys do not give two squirts of piss about VR, but I figured it was interesting. I think this is a great idea on Sony's behalf, and I suggest that others jump aboard, especially Microsoft. The Xbox 2 is set to be the benchmark next generation, and surely their VR experience should be superior as well if they're looking to, well, make that claim. So let me know what you guys think down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video or maybe learned something here today. Check the description for the source and more. Patrons, keep an eye on the site. Doing more giveaways soon. Those are, of course, called RDX benefits in the tiers. And, of course, if you haven't shown this video to a buddy or two, please do so. That does a lot to help the channel. Subscribe if you're new. I'm Dealer. I'm out.